Hello friends, my name is host Eric and this is my beloved girlfriend Rachel, and today we are here to tell you about how each type shops for groceries. Let's see upon whom we shall start.
How the ISFJ shops for groceries.
First, let's talk about what kind of lists they have. This type has both mental and physical lists, though neither of them limit the ISFJ, which means they're not constrained to just those items on the list. They may add some extra stuff to their cart. Strategy?
Start at the meats, end at the produce.
It's effective, it's efficient, they do have 8th slot TE. Tactic: put stuff not on the list in the cart, then put most of it back. This is kind of like pretend shopping that the ISFJ likes to do because they'd like to get more stuff than they can.
Habits: weekly grocery trips, bi-weekly at worst.
Okay, so we're looking at pretty steady grocery shopper here.
Yeah.
Let's see who the next type is.
ISFP.
List. If shopping for a family, the ISFP has a comprehensive list and resents it.
Strategy: list down because NI over TE.
What this means is that instead of using the extrovert thinking way, which is to start at one end and go work your way across, if you've got a fair number of things on the list, they'll go down the list, even if it means going back and forth between aisles. Tactic: get the stuff on the list, then get other more healthy stuff for themselves. This is assuming they're shopping for a family. And habits?
Mostly keeps on top of it, as long as others require it of them.
Yeah, so because it's demonstrative SI, they're likely to be as responsible about it as a family situation requires. Let's see who's next.
ISTJ.
List. Has a complete list. Mental list as well, for redundancy, also complete.
Strategy: one end towards the other, skipping unneeded aisles.
One would imagine ISTJ is the most efficient of all the shoppers, and that means one into another, plus skipping aisles where you know you don't need anything. Tactic: methodically get everything on the list. And habits?
Shops more than weekly, prefers fresh ingredients.
Yeah, so they're a little bit fussy about their food. We'll probably go get fresh baguette or some other ingredient every other day or so. Let's see who's next.
ISTP.
List. Keeps the list for the family as far as groceries go, but disregards what others want until they complain about it a lot. So in other words, just basically shops for themselves or what they think others ought to want.
Strategy: ignores TE and goes down the list because of NI third.
So again, the NI truth is what's on the list. The SITE truth is what's the most effective way to move through the store. The tactic: get everything on the list, also that thing that they saw. So they'll have a couple of sight purchases as well as memory purchases. And habits?
Begrudgingly goes every 3 weeks.
Reasonably responsible about it, but doesn't like it. All right, let's see who's next. ENFJ. List. They'll use their knowledge tool function on the fly, which means no list. They prefer to just go there and know what they will want as they walk around the store. So strategy?
Starts at one end and goes up and down every aisle.
And that's because their tactic is see what they like and get it. Habits?
Habits: shops every 6 months, fast food in between.
Okay, so yeah, they're not big on grocery shopping or on maintaining a adequate pantry and or fridge. Let's see who's next.
ENFP.
As far as lists go, no list unless it's for a specific recipe, in which case they'll bring that with them.
Strategy: follow the lead of the significant other or wander aimlessly.
Being an NE-DOM means they're SI fourth and it's always well behind their other priorities, and in this case that manifests as wandering aimlessly around the supermarket looking for things that they might think interesting things about. Tactic: sight purchasing for variety. They like to mix it up. So sight purchasing means I'm going to use my expert sensing, see something, and be inspired to buy that thing because I think of stuff I might do with it or because it looks good or whatever. And habits?
Thinks this should be someone else's responsibility.
Yeah, prefers not to be in charge of the grocery shopping. Okay, let's see about the next one. ENTJ. List. They bring with them the list suggested by Men's Health Daily to maximize, both efficiency with calorie intake and also calorie to muscle growth ratios and things like that.
Mostly produce this time, carb loading next week.
So they tend to think of their diet as this thing to be managed. Tactic, eat as though their body were a weakness to be purged, because SI polar. And finally, habits.
Since we must eat, grocery shopping should link to self-betterment.
Because after all, you should be developing these skills for a purpose, right? Not just eating because you're hungry. ENTP list. Partial mental list, but we'll write down what others say to get. Probably not write down what they think themselves they need to get. Although sometimes they will. They're random. Strategy?
Let's get this over with.
Okay, so yeah, we don't like to shop. Tactic, all non-perishables. Because who knows if or when I'll eat this stuff. But I have experience of stuff going bad in the fridge, so I just won't buy any perishables anymore. That's kind of ENTP tactic. And habits?
Finally goes grocery shopping 2 weeks after needing to.
Okay, cool. Let's see who's next. ESFJ. List. They have a handwritten list, but it doesn't limit them. Like the ISFJ, they'll add extra stuff to the cart. What's their strategy?
Start at the meats, end at the produce.
Same as ISFJ. And their tactic, get the list stuff, but then get stuff that's not listed but desired, like candy. Now, it's not listed because if you don't put it on the list, you didn't officially get it, and therefore, say you're on a diet or something, and you really don't think you should be eating candy, you'll just get that but not put it on the list if you're in the ESFJ, and that somehow makes it okay. Habits?
Bi-weekly shopping trips. Family tastes never change, okay?
Yeah, so if you're, say, have an ESFJ mom, they really don't like it when you stop liking this kind of juice box or whatever. But you love this juice box. Well, not anymore, though. I don't like it anymore. But you have to like things forever. Okay, next.
ESFP.
A list, no list, they know what they want. That's both NI fourth and ignoring SI. They're assuming they know what they already want with their ignoring SI is a sort of a assumed autopilot that doesn't actually function very well as an autopilot, it's a fifth slot function. Okay, and strategy?
Head first to what they want most.
Sure, that's your tool function. Tactic. Get distracted by lasagna noodles and decide to make lasagna, which is why their habits are haphazard.
Mostly buys frozen stuff when buying smart.
Right, so when they do think ahead, they get a bunch of non-perishables like the ENTP does. Okay, let's see the next type.
ESTJ.
List. It's a handwritten list except when bargain shopping because it depends. Contextually, the ESTJ may shop in different contexts. Strategy?
Knows the store well, situationally appropriate.
So they take a store-centric approach or strategy and a trip-centric approach or strategy. Tactic, get the cheapest version of everything on the list. If something's about to go out of date and is on sale, now's the time to buy it.
Habits. Grocery bargain shops as an activity.
Yeah, so they go to the grocery store, go to the dented can section, and go to the almost expired stuff section, and get everything as cheap as they can, and think they've, really accomplished something fantastic there. Okay, which they have in some sense. Next, ESTP. List, no list, I know, and ignore what I want.
Strategy. Go in planning to get beer and cigarettes.
Tactic. Walk out with beer, steaks, and charcoal. Get smokes someplace else on the way home.
Habits. Goes to the store when there's a pressing need as per above.
Yeah, so if they're out of beer or cigarettes, then that's time to go to the store. Who's next? INFJ. List. Has a totally inadequate list.
Strategy. Strategy. Going down the list even though it means going back and forth.
So their tactic ends up being about 1/4 list, 3/4 site purchase. They go, ooh, I need that, or ooh, I want that.
Habits. INFJ waits until out of everything. Puts milk, cereal, and chips on list.
Yeah, so not the best shopper in the world. INFP list. A list that includes a variety of oddities only the INFP likes.
Strategy, go down the list, which is ordered by what they want most.
So kind of like the ESFP in that regard. Tactic, get everything on the list because they have SI plans with themselves later. Like they're planning to sit down with a wonderful cup of coffee and their favorite seaweed biscuit and rewatch that movie that they've watched 15 times before. Because it always makes them cry.
Habits. Likes specialty stores. Dislikes grocery responsibilities.
Yeah, they don't want to be responsible for it. INTJ. List. List includes ramen, frozen bratwurst, and cream soda.
Strategy. They go to the ramen, meat, and soda aisles.
Tactic. They get the 3 things they eat.
Habits. Runs out of ramen in 5.5 months. Wonders how they miscalculated.
Indeed. INTP. List. No firm list, but haven't had possible things they might get.
Strategy. Ignore TE, wander aimlessly.
Tactic. Accidentally get a case of Diet Coke, never return it, let it sit in the corner of your room for 3 years, and sigh every time you wish you had a regular Coke.
Which brings up habits. Man, I can't keep up living on crackers, mustard, and coffee.
Yeah, INTPs don't necessarily take great care of themselves. And we're back to the ISFJ. Does that mean we're done?
That means that we're done.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. Talking with famous people. And I don't want to forget to mention that I'm a typologist by trade, and I do charge $100 for a 60-minute typing session, and you're welcome to have me type you accordingly. The client can choose to publish the video, not record it at all, or record it and have me share it with them privately. It's entirely up to them. If you'd like to see what one of the sessions is like, there are sessions available for viewing on my channel, quite a few of them. I've done this hundreds of times. I'm extremely good at it at this point. So if you want to get typed, email me or call me. My number is 626-615-8751. My email address is ssuartscire@gmail.com, which is my name, Eric Strauss, backwards, ssuartscire@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to shop for plenty of cheese at the grocery store.